Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. And keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as, investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy! Alright folks, here we are on Wednesday, April 24th. We're going to take a look at Meta today. So with earnings coming up, I thought we'd check out the support and resistance levels, see where it might land itself, some places where it might sort of bang into some levels. I'm also interested to know what you folks think. I'm trying to put this video out early enough so that you can leave comments and put in ranges or price points if you want to sort of make a prediction just for the fun of it, and see if anyone kind of comes close or God forbid even nails it. So these are the levels that I have in the chart. The blue levels are traditional support and resistance levels that I have based off of previous price action. Because of where we are at highs here, this is a Fibonacci extension in yellow. So just be aware of why they're different colors and what they are. So the nearest in level that I have support wise is 481.16. And then the nearest in extension level I have is 518.59 to the upside. To the downside, it's where that extension kicks off, which is 473.40. All right, so those are three levels there that if it moves, not wildly in either direction, it might sort of find itself, pinning around, between this yellow and this yellow, or this blue and this yellow. So that's the sideways move on my chart. If it dips below there, 455.69, you see that's where it sort of consolidated before it made this most recent push or pushes since the big gap up off of the previous earnings. If it falls below there, obviously it has a gap there that it could come down to fill, though it puts it quite far away. It would be quite a drawback. 400.06, 384.33, and then we won't worry about these for now, but they've been on the chart, so I left them there. Now, if it decides to push again, like we said, 518.59, and then 546.54, 569.13, and then I think there is an additional level here. Yep, 591.73 would be sort of that approach toward 600 if it gets there. So, you can see the run up as we went through earnings after earnings after earnings. So it'll be interesting to see if the sort of like fevered pitch that has surrounded the big booms that Meta has gotten off of earnings, if that continues, or at what point does it sort of fizzle out or altogether break or what have you. But that will be quite interesting to see. How much do folks feel is priced in at this point, given that, back here in sort of November of 2022, which is, a decently long time ago, like a year and a half ago, it was at $88. But I mean, to now have it, at about 500, that's a lot of movement in a year, in an 18-month span. And so I am curious to see if folks feel that it's warranted, and maybe that gives them sort of the fervor to push it higher, or do folks feel that there's so much good news, so much great earnings report already priced in, that they sort of level it out a little bit or pull it back to what the market feels is a more reasonable spot. We'll see. Now, on the think or swim side of things, it doesn't look as sort of crazy and chaotic as it does here on the Webull chart, because, from this view, it just sort of shows a strong stock that was riding the green wave cloud and the upper bound of the channel and continuing to do so, and then doing the reasonable thing eventually, though it took quite some time, of pulling back in and testing the mid-range of the channel, and then just sort of continuing to stay channel bound and continue to test it. Now, it did put in a lengthy trigger on the TTM squeeze indicator here through this period of time, though nothing really came of it. So it could be quite interesting if in the coming weeks or months even, if it continues to stay relatively range bound here at the mid-range of the channel, if it does start to re-trigger and puts in a refire, then we might get a big move. What direction it goes, that's sort of TBD. That's crystal ball territory. But that could be an interesting setup if it comes about and there's, again, sort of a mostly or relatively sideways reaction to the upcoming earnings. Now, 468.52 to the downside right now, it would stay in the channel, but it would push and try to find support off the bottom bound of the channel to the degree to which these levels come into play. And then, of course, 528.91 to the upper bound of the channel if it does pick up some tailwinds and pushes and hits resistance at the upper bound of the channel. So it could work that whole range 468 to 528 and still stay within the bounds of the channel itself. All right, folks, I hope that you've had a happy hump day. And as always, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next video.